Hi, welcome to my video on subtracting binomial and trinomial square root radicals. Subtracting. Steps we're going to use in subtracting radicals, binomial and trinomials. Remove the brackets and add on the opposite. Regroup the like terms, just make that an I, and simplify. Let's do some examples following the steps. So we're going to remove the radicals and add on the opposite. Remember, that's a 1 understood there, and that's a 1 there. So 1 times 9 plus 4 root 2. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Negative 1 times negative 6 is a plus 6 root 2. So I put the 1 in, just a little trick. But if you didn't put the 1 in, the opposite of 5 is negative 5. The opposite of negative, negative 6 is plus 6. Now we group the like terms, 5 minus 5, 4 root 2, plus 6 root 2. Notice we do not change. And 9 minus 5 is 4, and 4 plus 6 is 10 root 2. B, again, put a 1 here and a 1 here. 1 times this binomial will not change the sign. Whoop, what we should have done, we should have simplified. Let's simplify the inside here. Notice root 20 is 4 times 5. So that's a 2 root 5. And root 45 is 9 times 5. So that's a 3 root 5. So to fully simplify that, let's make it negative 1 minus 10 root 5. And leave the 1 there. We're just simplifying. Everything is okay. So we simplified root 45 to 3 root 5 and 20 to 2 root 5 and multiplied. Now we can go 1 times. 1 times is negative 1 minus 10 root 5. Negative 1 times 8 is plus 8. Negative 1 times positive is negative 3 root 5. And we group our like terms. Negative 1 plus 8. Negative 10 root 5 minus 3 root 5. And that gives us a 7 and a minus 13 root 5. Fully simplified. So remember, in BEDMAS or PEMDAS, we're supposed to simplify the inside first. So simplify that radical before we do anything else. Done. Just make sure of that. That's a root 3 and that's a root 2. That's okay. That's a root 2, root 3. They're okay. So let's put a 1 here and a 1 here. 1 times all of these will not change. 1 times any number is that number. But when we multiply by negative 1 or add on the opposite, we get a negative 2 plus 3 root 2 plus 7 root 3. So the opposite is negative, positive, positive. Or we multiply by negative 1, which is another way we will get those signs. Group the like terms, negative 4 root 3, and we have a 7 root 3. We have a negative 8, and a negative 2, and a positive 6 root 2, and a positive 3 root 2. Like terms are grouped together. Remember, the order makes no difference. I could have put the negative 8 and negative 2 first, and then the root 2's, and then the root 3's. Makes no difference. Negative 4 plus 7 is 3, root 3. Negative 8, negative 2 is negative 10. And 6 plus 3 is 9, root 2. So you could have a different order for the same answer. Practice means pause the video and work each of these out to see if you know what you're doing. The inside root 7 is fully simplified, so we put a 1 there and a 1 there. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 8 root 7. Negative 1 times negative 4 is plus 4. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3 root 7. And remember, if you didn't put the 1 there, when you subtract the opposite of a negative 4 is a plus 4. The opposite of a plus 3 root 7 is a negative 3 root 7. Group like terms. Done. And that's a 14, and that's a plus 5 root 7. Let's continue. And we have more to do. Again, practice means pause the video and work each of these out. When you get the answer, press playback to see if you're right. Put a 1 there and a 1 there to make sure. 1 times negative 7. 1 times negative 4 root 6. Negative 1 times 1. Negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 9. Positive 9 root 6. Group like terms. And that's a negative 8 and a positive 5 root 6. And it makes no difference how many we have a binomial or trinomial inside. When we subtract, we've got to add on the opposite. That's root 11, okay, root 3 is okay, root 11, root 3, they're all simplified. So 1 times 6, 1 times 4 root 11, 1 times negative 2 root 3. And if you want to add on the opposite of a 10 is negative 10. The opposite of a negative 11, root 11 is a plus root 11. The opposite of plus 8 is minus 8 root 3. So that's doing the opposite. Or you can put a 1 here and go negative 1 times 10, negative 10. Negative 1 times negative root 11 plus root 11. Negative 1 times 8 root 3 is negative 8 root 3. Now we group like terms. 6 and a minus 10 go together. Plus 4 root 11 and plus root 11. Minus 2 root 3 and a negative 8 root 3. Always check how many terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Have them all. 6 minus 10, negative 4. 4, and that's a 1 understood, so 4 plus 1 is 5 root 11. And that's negative 2, negative 8 is a negative 10 root 3. Remember, we can only add like radicals. And root 3s are like, root 11s are like, and the numbers. Number 4, I see we should simplify the inside first by PEMDAS. So the square root of 25 is a 5. 18 is 9 times 2, so that's 3 root 2 minus. 16 is a 4. So the square root of 16, 4, 3 4s are 12. And an 8 is 4 times 2, so that's 2 root 2. So the inside is fully simplified. Now we'll add on the opposite. Again, 1 times that. Binomial won't change. And you can go with adding on the opposite, which is a negative 12 plus 2 root 2. So when you subtract, you add on the opposite. That makes that a negative and a positive, or you can put a 1 there and multiply negative 1 by these two. Done. Group like terms. It's a good habit to group them together because then you make sure you won't make a mistake. They are grouped, and 5 minus 12 is negative 7, and 3 plus 2 is 5 root 2. And number 5, okay, root 2 is fully simplified, root 2, can't simplify any further. So I put a 1 there and a 1 there, so we get 1/5 minus 2/3 root 2. Negative 1 times these two is a positive 2/3 and a positive 2/9. So the opposite of the negative is a positive, the opposite of that negative is a positive. Now we group like terms, so we have 1/5 plus 2/3 and a negative 2/3 plus 2/9. Now we have fractions. So with fractions, we got to have common denominators. The common denominator for 5 and 3 is 15. So that means I'll put 15 below each of these. 5 into 15 goes 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 into 15 goes 5. 2 5s is 10. So that's the same as multiplying this fraction by 3 over 3 and multiplying this fraction by 5 over 5. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And the common denominator for 3 and 9 is 9. So that means if you put a 9 there, 3 into 9 goes 3, 2 3s are 6. And 9 is already the denominator. So now we're able to add these two. That gives me 13 over 15. I add the numerators and keep the denominator. And 9 is my common denominator. And root 2 is the late radical. And negative 6 plus 2 is a negative 4. And fully simplified. Just a little bit of extra practice with fractions. And that's subtracting binomial or trinomial radicals. If you like my video, click on the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell, and visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, and to find out more information about me, my videos, and the content. The content is what's on my YouTube channel, Math Fully Explained. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Bye-bye.